Carl.
Welcome to Eat Sleep Sixers. I am your host, 215, the sports guy. Today, we have a piece of the family here with us today. She
Wait,
hails
can, you
from
can't introduce.
Philadelphia.
Wait. You can't introduce me and Jose first. She
No,
just jump
no,
in and
no,
automatically be the first
no,
person.
exactly. You guys sit in the back, okay? She hails from the Philadelphia area. She is a senior clinical research coordinator at the Philadelphia VA Medical Center. She is one of the biggest Sixers fans I know. Please give us a warm welcome to Miss Jennifer Green.
Oh, thanks so much, guys. Thank you so
Welcome,
much for
welcome,
having me on. Sorry, all the
Welcome to the
complications.
podcast.
Appreciate you.
welcome,
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 welcome
welcome.
to the family. And I got these two guys with me. You guys know, BG and Jose. How are you guys feeling tonight?
I'm feeling good, man. Like I told y'all when we was waiting to get on, man. I love starting my weekend hearing the song, and everybody that watches this podcast knows we only play the song after wins. So I'm looking
Big
Right.
forward
fact.
to starting my weekend the right way. So I'm looking forward to this dub tonight.
Big fact. Big fact. So we have a hurting opponent here tonight. The Clippers have some wings clipped off, per se. With that being said, what is your expectations on tonight's game, and what are your keys to us getting this win tonight? We'll start with the lady of the family, Miss Jennifer Green.
You're such a gentleman. I appreciate that.
Lies.
Uh, so, do we know? First of all, do we know who started? Who's the line? Who's in the lineup for the Clippers tonight? Do we
Uh,
know if
only people out
Batum?
real quick. So they just took Batum and Morris off of the injury report. So their only injured players right now is Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and Jason Preston. So Batum was questionable, but now he's a full go.
Okay.
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 Okay. Well, I think that they're like a middle of the road kind of team without Kawhi and PG-13. I think that the Sixers can handle them if they're on their game. They just have to be careful not to get sloppy, and not
Pretty
to
much.
pull like a second quarter. What happened the other night? You
Oh
know
my
what I'm
God.
saying?
Oh my
And
God.
they gotta stay on their man.
That is key. That is key. And I will concur with that. What are your keys to tonight's game, BJ?
I'm looking to get after them early and often. I mean, this is a team. Although Jenna is correct when she says they're kind of that mid-tier type team without their two stars, but they do have a type of team that can come out there and surprise people. Reggie Jackson, no slouch.
No
Uh,
slouch.
we know Morris. We know
Right.
Batum.
He's good.
Watching, we had the luxury of their game was on
Hey.
right after the Sixers the other night, so I actually got to watch the game and watching what's his name, Zubac, go at the Joker like the Joker was average. They have a team that can compete with us, but we have a team that should be able to put them out of their misery and knock them off. So I just look after getting after them early and often. We need to have a big first quarter, not just out of Joel Embiid, out of the team tonight.
Big time. Big time. Jose, gonna have to follow up with you. What are your
Um,
keys to tonight's victory?
Defense always, and like they can't allow no center to come out there and be shooting 7 to 8 3 pointers. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The
Yeah.
adjustment has to be made a lot sooner than by the time that person gets eight of them off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Can't be waiting too long, and that goes just for anything, any aspect of the game. If you're getting beat, then you got to make these adjustments early. Don't wait till this guy's having a career day against us.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Exactly.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
I got
I
I
w-
got two I got 2 points real quick, Carl, before you jump in. I
Go
want
right
to piggyback
ahead.
I want to piggyback off Jose that having that big guy that hits 7 to 8 threes in the first quarter. They have a guy that can do it. Serge Ibaka can get hot. And Carl, before you give your keys to the game, the starting lineup just popped up. Let me just run through that real quick.
Run it.
An- I feel like the last like 4 games I've given a first time ever starting lineup. Well, we
Oh
got
God.
another first time ever starting lineup, but don't do this, Carl. Is the guy we've been begging for in the starting lineup.
Paul
So we
Reed.
Carl, chill out.
Okay. All right.
So we got Joel Embiid in the middle, Tobias Harris, Furkan Korkmaz, Tyrese Maxey, and welcome to the starting lineup. Isaiah Joe will be starting tonight.
Go
Like
Zay
you
Joe.
know how we feel about Zay Joe on this show, y'all. Y'all know how much we've been wanting him in the game, and he's
So
finally getting a start.
That was one of my keys to the game. Hopefully, he falls right into it, and that's an energetic start from the tip. You know, we need to show energy. We need to punch these guys in the gut and make them feel that they're missing their two best players. So, you know, if we play down to their level, they're an NBA team. You know,
Right.
just like go ahead, Jen.
No, I was just agreeing with you.
Yeah, most definitely. You know, anybody could get it. Just like they say, any given Sunday on football, it's any given game in the NBA. If you sleep, they will creep. Maybe I gotta hashtag that.
True indeed. True indeed. Anyway, real quick before we continue on, normally when we bring a guest in onto this show, or we have the host now, we normally introduce this host and allow this person to say something about themselves. I think Carl pretty much covered it with the intro, so we're just gonna ask you real quick, Ms. Green, is to just tell the audience what brought you to Sixers 24/7.
Okay, yeah. I love the Sixers, obviously, and I was posting a lot of my opinions on the Sixers Facebook page. You know, getting into arguments with people as I was going to do. And I got a message in my inbox from this dude I'd never heard of before, Joey. And he's like, you should join Sixers 24/7. And I was like, what is that? And I looked and I was like, okay, yeah, you know, because I don't have a lot of people in my life who want to sit around and talk about basketball with me. So it's nice. It's nice to have that kind of outlet. And I've been watching basketball my whole life. My grandmother was a huge Bulls fan. She didn't grow up in Chicago, but she loved Michael Jordan. So she was a huge Bulls fan. And then I became a huge fan of the Sixers when Allen Iverson played. I'm not going to say I was like the process years watcher. I was not that girl. I was like, you know, I'm not watching when it's 10-game wins.
You know what? It was hard to watch the Sixers during that time. It was
very hard. Very hard.
But once they got the Joel, man, I was hooked back in. I haven't missed any of it since. He's just amazing.
Welcome
I was
back.
about to say, let me see that hoodie. That's what I was just about to say. Let me see that hoodie.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that big shout out to Joel will coerce him to score another 50 piece in the biscuit tonight.
Just wait for over under, ladies and gentlemen. It's
Oh
coming.
my God. Oh my
Okay.
It's
All
coming.
right.
It's
Let's
coming.
hear it.
It's
We got
coming.
another 20 minutes.
Well, I was going to say, if you don't mind, I was thinking about that. So Joker had his big game against the Clippers the same night that. Did I steal something you were going to say?
No, keep going. No, keep going. If you don't know, Jen, I'm the animated one in the group, and if somebody say something that I completely disagree with, I'm cutting you off for right now. I don't want to hear about Joker, but go ahead.
Oh, well, what I was going to say is he had his 49 against the Clippers, and people who don't like Embiid for whatever reason that I don't understand.
Yeah.
We're like, well, he only had the 50 against Orlando, so I would love to see him get 50 against the Clippers.
That would be. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, Joker did do that triple double against the Clippers, right?
Yep.
That 49-point triple double. So the reason I was waving you off, Jen, because when people compared that game, and said, well, he saw Joe had 50, so he went out there and had a 49-point triple double. Yeah, he had a 49-point triple double in the overtime. My guy played 27 minutes, Philadelphia. He played 27 minutes and put up 50. Efficiency in a win. I love it. I don't care what Joker did. It did not match up to what, if that was the pinnacle game, if that was the last game of the season to say, hey, the voters don't know who to vote for MVP, and both of them put up that stat line, I'm giving the nod to Joel. I may be biased because I'm a Sixers fan, but I'm giving that nod to Joel because of his efficiency and the amount of time that he played. Joker scored 49, triple-double.
He played the whole game.
And played the whole game. Like, I'm not trying to.
The whole game.
So it's
You
not.
let Joel play that whole game. He walks out there with 60 plus.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And yeah, you really have to think about it. You have to break down MVP, right? What that means, and it's that's your most valuable player. Well, Denver, he's got better pieces around him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's better piece. He's throwing that ball to a guy he knows is going to get that shot off. You know what I mean? Aaron Gordon is he's a good.
Most definitely.
And although they
And
are
I'm
missing,
not trying to diss anybody on the team, but I'm saying he just doesn't have that kind of quality of
Everybody on
surrounding
Denver
pieces,
is not scared to shoot.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I
yeah.
know a guy who's.
I don't like the pass first, like feels like hot potatoes sometimes they're playing.
It looks good sometimes, though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
It
not. Gonna,
does if they're doing it right.
yeah,
It looks good. If they're
Yeah.
efficient and passing it and it's not sticking, it looks good. But if they're just passing because they don't want to shoot it, then that's a bad look.
Well, you segued me right into my next point about Joel Embiid. And what do you guys, since his COVID-19 schnick, what do you guys think he's been doing differently out there to put up this monstrous stretch that he's been on? This 30 plus and 10 stretch. What do you guys think he's been doing differently?
Go ahead, Jen.
You want me to go first?
Yes.
Well, I think that I read an article that said his knee had a chance to heal when he had COVID, right? So it was like sucked that he had COVID, but gave his knee a chance to heal. So I think he's coming back healthy and ready and dominant, and that's what it's about.
Most definitely.
It shows, and like you can tell he doesn't look as fatigued. And I'm not saying that that break right there caused it, but I don't know. Like I feel like he's doing a better job with the conditioning and the workouts and stuff. It's like a different Embiid that we're not used to seeing, because like after like 2 or 3 games, you normally always see him crouched down, holding his knees, look fatigued. Super mad, sweaty. I mean, everybody gets sweaty on the court, but he just has that tired look in him sometimes. The guys around him gelling with him as well. Sometimes they stink up the court, but when they're helping him, it helps him out. It helps him out. So I feel like and another thing he's doing really well is he's passing out of those double teams. He's not great at it, but he's working on it, and the more he works on it, the better he's gonna get.
Yeah. Most definitely. I would have to agree with both of your points. I think his conditioning is much better. The best we've seen Joel Embiid here in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. But I also will say that I think team chemistry counts for something as well. And we're not in that locker room at all. But with everything that came out over the off season and earlier in the season with who, it's safe to say that these guys weren't the best of friends. And, if anybody ever been in the locker room and played sports, when your 2 best players aren't getting along, or if there's a fringe in there, these group of players is cool with this player, these group of players is cool with it. Kind of drives a fringe in the chemistry. So now we have a whole team that loves each other and get along, and they love playing with each other. That counts for something, and it bodes well for Joel Embiid, I'll say. But I would love for Daryl Morey to give him some damn help. Speaking of that, did you guys hear him the other day on the radio?
I posted a question right there on the banner, just scrolling past. So if you guys want to take a second and read it.
Morey wrong for wanting a player that can help us get over the second round hump. Give us your thoughts in the chat. Also, if you have not voted, I love that line. I'm glad you kept that line in there. Embiid is playing like he should be a captain at the All-Star game. Not just in the All-Star game. He should be picking the roster. Please, if you haven't voted, please go vote for the big fella. Please go vote for the big fella.
I mean, it doesn't sound...
I think it's
go ahead,
one more day of voting. Sorry.
Yeah, it's definitely one more day of voting. It's one more day of voting. But I feel a little optimistic with Morey's comment and him seeing the level that Joel Embiid is playing at right now makes him want to give him more help. You know what I mean? And that's a big statement coming from the president of the organization. But goes without saying, he also said that he doesn't think he's going to trade Ben Simmons by the All-Star break. He's just not getting what he wants out there. That leads me to think that there are other players on this roster that might be moved in order to make this roster better. Tobias Harris. Yeah. So if Tobias doesn't get his SHIT together, we might see another player alongside Embiid, which I'm not opposed to. We just got to find a match that wants to take on that contract.
Well, watching this team currently constructed, I'll pose that question to you, Carl, because at the beginning of the season, we all had a list of players who were untouchable. Is there anybody on this roster that's untouchable, in your opinion?
B-ball
Who's
Paul.
untouchable?
B-ball Paul, come on now. I love B-ball Paul.
That's
Don't
my
get me
guy
wrong.
right there. Man. But,
I love him.
all
But
seriousness,
Hey, Jen, I love 90-degree weather when I'm on the beach, but I don't want it on Christmas. You can love something and say, you know what, I don't need it all the time, and I don't.
yeah.
B-ball Paul is definitely not untouchable.
no, he's not.
No,
That was,
I
of course,
love
was
him.
a joke.
But
My,
seriously, do you guys have anybody on this roster? Obviously, Joel Embiid's not going anywhere. We don't have to say certain names. Is anybody untouchable come February 10th?
Tyrese Maxey. I
I'm-
think that
I'm gonna say everybody is movable. If you're gonna bring somebody back that's young, that we can solidify for a long time, then everybody's movable. But if nobody is out there that can give us at least an 8-piece, then I gotta say Maxey's probably untouchable. I wouldn't move Thibault. I'll keep his defense. Other than that, everybody's on chopping block.
I mean,
I feel like the only person for me, besides Joel, obviously, will be Maxey. But the caveat to that is, like, if you got a good guy, if you got a good point guard in exchange for him,
Or the
you
right,
know, you got
or
to
the
say
right
with
piece,
the right,
Maxey can go.
right.
who-
I mean, look at his age though. Even if you do,
I know, 21
That's-
years old, and
even if you do get the right point guard, wouldn't you like to keep him and have him come off the bench and let him grow?
yeah,
I would.
yeah.
I would.
But,
Yeah,
but that's why I put the word untouchable out there, Jose. It may be we could get put into a trade scenario where they won't accept anything but Maxey. Are you willing to say, to make the trade right, Maxey being on, obviously we're not saying put Maxey on the chopping block, but if a team is not willing to budge and only willing to take Maxey along with whatever big piece we give them, are you willing to say
Well,
nix
that's
the
why I
entire-
said no.
nix the
Unless
entire trade? Are you nixing the entire trade? Or are you saying, can we switch it up and give you Shake and Cork? What
no,
you
I'm
saying?
not just gonna do that. I gotta look and see who we getting because again, I want longevity because this kid's young and for real, you don't know what he's gonna become. And after his off season last year, that's admirable.
Yeah. most
So I got to see what we're getting first.
No, I feel you. I feel you.
Ant Sims is saying that championship teams will do what it has to do. And I agree with you, but also you have to understand we are a championship team, but we are very young as well. We have young pieces on this roster that can potentially grow and be core players on this team. So you got to be careful with that. You know, they're making next to nothing and they're giving you quality minutes.
Right.
So you can't really find that
True.
a lot of other places unless you're going to go get Cade Cunningham or you're going to get one of these other top picks that came out. You know what I mean? So that's just my feeling on that. You know, it's something we all been talking about, something Philadelphia has been talking about. So without further ado, Jenna, this is your first time experiencing this. Around this
Okay.
time, we do a little thing called over, under, BG. Come on.
I only got 2 over unders today. I know I overwhelmed y'all with 5 last game just because I missed 3 games. But I only got 2 over unders today, and they both involve offense. First, I gotta go with the big fella. Usually when I go with the big fella, I say when I go with points, I usually say 30. I think he's beyond that 30 now. So I'm gonna go with Joel Embiid, 35 points. Over, under. Jose, you first. I don't like letting Jose get time to think. I don't like him to get time to think.
He
I'm
likes to
going
go
under
last,
today.
Jen.
I'm going under today.
Okay.
Under 35. Okay.
Yeah, because I think the team overall is going to play better. So I don't feel like he's got to put 40 points.
Okay. Jen?
That's so hard because while I really do want him to go for 50 against the Clippers, you know, there's such a thing as a letdown game, right? So he had that like high 50-point game. I'm thinking it's probably going to be under,
Okay.
but not under 30. He's got to stay over 30. Keep the
Hold on.
streak
So
going.
he's gonna score between 30 and 30.
At 35.
Okay. She's playing the safe zone.
Right.
Okay.
What's Jim Brooks saying over here? Hi, Jim.
What up, Jim? Jim is saying he's not trading Maxey. He improved dramatically. Still young. Still could be an all-star, and only paid on a rookie deal. And that was my point as well. But I would have to go over. I saw the look in this guy's eyes on the bench last game when they sat him down at the 27th minute, and he still had gas in the tank. And I think he realized he still had gas in the tank. So I think tonight, fresh off of that, I think he's going to try to go for a career high just because he can. Just because I've never seen him play like this. I've never seen it.
Me and Brian were texting, and I was like, yo, take him out. Like that 50.
I saw it.
Want him in the game.
I told him what was going to happen, though. I said, Jose, they just trying to get him 50. Watch, and then they're going to take him. And they did exactly that. He said, no, I don't care if he's trying to get 50.
But if you let him get 50, I would at least let another possession slide by to make him break his.
I don't even want to even bring up the negativity that could have happened because this over with. It's in the past. So
he had a chance. He missed his free throw. Sit on the bench. He had his chance to break his career high, and he missed the free throw. Bye. Sit down, Joe. You got 50. Go sit down. So I am going to go with over. I looked at what he did last game. Scoring 50, albeit against Orlando. He scored 50 in 27 minutes. I think he's going to have to play more minutes than that tonight against the Clippers as they pose a different type of threat to us. So I think because I'm going with like 40, 41 points for him tonight. So
we agree, BG?
I was mad at you. I was mad that you took the over because usually I don't like doing the same because Carl is notoriously wrong.
on the over unders. I am, but tonight is different. And I'm starting a win streak just like the Philadelphia 76ers. Go ahead, BJ.
So my second over under for tonight is something that I miss about the Sixers. Things that I saw early on that I haven't seen a lot of lately, and that's Tyrese Maxey score over 20 points. I love aggressive Tyrese. I get when he's not being aggressive, what he's doing, but I just love aggressive Tyrese, and I think he's going to have a challenge on defense because Reggie Jackson is the motor that runs their offense, so he's going to be inclined to go back at him. So I'm going to go with the over-under of 19 points for Tyrese Maxey tonight.
Okay.
It's gonna go hand in hand with my last pick, and the reason why I did my last pick. So, because Embiid is gonna stay under that 35, and the rest of the team is gonna scorch out, I'm gonna say Maxey goes over.
Okay.
How many points did Maxey have in the last game?
14.
Okay. Yeah, I think he's due.
That's why I put it out there. I always do my over-unders when I feel like it's time for it to happen. It's time for it to happen.
I think he's due. I'm going with the over with Maxey. 19, you said, right?
19 was the over-under. So if you think he's scoring 20, cool.
I think this is one of his games, man. I think this is one of his games where he lets his hair down, no pun intended, and comes off that pick and roll with his hair on fire, driving to the rack with the off time and one hand layup like he does. We haven't seen a lot of that lately. We haven't seen aggressive Maxey. For like tonight, we'll see him. They're down two big perimeter defenders, so I'm expecting some opportunities off the pick and rolls with new guys in their lineup. So I'll take the over.
Well, I'm gonna go with the over as well. And because we now have a complete cast of characters, I agree with you again, Carl. Because we have a complete cast of characters, from this day forth, all over-unders will be tracked, and your records will go up there. We'll see who has the better over-under record to end the season. Jose, stop clapping because none of your wins in the past count. It starts today.
That's fine.
It starts today.
This is a good point that Jim brings up here about Zubac. Where'd it go?
I'm bringing it back up, Jen.
I bought that up earlier because Zubac was going at Joker like he. Yeah,
you did, and I wanted to get back to that because we know what happened with Bamba and Joel was on him.
Yeah.
So he's got to be careful. He got to stay on his man if he's guarding Zubac because he'll score on you. He'll
Yes.
score
Yeah.
30.
He's the type of guy that's just aggressive for no reason. Like he has no specific amazing talent, but he's just a basketball player. Like, oh, if I'm open, if I got a easy layup, if I can be aggressive and get Joel maybe in foul trouble, he'll attack. He's not great, but he's not a bum by no means.
So Zubac is on our radar. So we are at the 7 o'clock marker. And this has been another wonderful edition of Eat Sleep Sixers, where we welcome the first lady of our family, Miss Jennifer Green. And you guys will sure to see her on more episodes. Please.
Thanks for having me,
We're,
guys. It's a lot of fun.
We're not. So having you being you here today,
Like you're a
and
guest.
We'll see
Exactly.
you. We'll see you in a couple weeks. We want you to embrace us as family. This Eat Sleep Sixers podcast, we're family. If you can't make every show, we just want to make sure you hear with us as much as you can. So you're part of the family now.
Awesome. Thanks,
All right, so we
guys.
got the social media up there. You see it that way. I'm pointing in the right direction. I ain't get
Yes,
it back
you
on
are.
this time.
Yes, you
So we
are.
got Facebook, we got Twitter, we got Instagram, we got YouTube, and we got Twitch. Don't forget to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
And if you are not here at Eat Sleep Sixers for pregame and postgame, I don't know where you are. Like, what are you doing with your life? Get your life together. This is the place to be.
The
This
clever
has been
one
a-
gave you one last shout out. One last shout out, Jen. He's one of our YouTube
Awesome.
viewers every show.
Yeah, that's what's up. The clever.
That's
We
great.
appreciate you.
Thank you.
Everybody that's watching now, come back after the game so we could discuss this Sixer W. Go Sixers.
Go
Woo!
Sixers.
Let's go.
Let's go.
See y'all post game. See y'all post game.